Hello and welcome to Men at the Movies, the YouTube channel. My name is Paul McDonald, and I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about our movie this week. I'm going to pull a clip actually that we sort of touched on a little bit because I think as men and women, we get offered an invitation. And one of the key elements of the hero's journey, of our journey, is how we respond to the call to adventure. And so in this clip, it's very early in the movie. Gene Hackman's character, Coach McGinty, shows up. He says he wants Shane Falco to be his guy, his quarterback.
Shane Falco? Footsteps Falco from Ohio State?
He's got a nickname based on his worst moments.
Should be well rested.
And we all have that voice in our heads, don't we? We relive our worst moments and our biggest mistakes and biggest flaws. There's things that we struggle or will never get past. That could be part of our personality, our passion, our fear, our insecurity. What you see in this clip is I think is the coach as a representative of God, of the Father as he pursues us.
45. Sometimes a game like that really sticks with you. You can never shake it off.
Got 3 concussions to prove it.
That's why girls don't play the game.
Why you here, Coach?
I'm back with the Sentinels. I want you to quarterback. I found the best guards available to protect you. A wide receiver, even you couldn't overthrow.
I'm retired.
The thing that I missed a lot about God is he's like, yeah, that Sugar Bowl, that was a tough game. He brought up the game, the worst moment of Shane's life, not in an effort to criticize or demoralize, but he said he brought that up to sort of sit with him in that pain.
The winners from the losers, kid?
The score.
Getting back up on that horse after.
And what you see is he invites him. He invites Shane. He's like, I want you to be quarterback. I saw your worst moment, and I still want you. I know what you need. I've got guards who will protect you. I've got a wide receiver who will catch, who you can't even outthrow.
You're still young.
Like I said, he invites Shane into a situation where he would be protected. He would be taken care of. He says, here's what you need. And I think a lot of times God as Father looks at us. He says, man, you went through that situation and that was tough. You know, as John Eldridge likes to say, our hearts weren't made for this world. We were made for Eden. And yet here we are.
Think it over. Could be part of something.
And I think we do have a Father who says, you're not built for this. You weren't built. You know, Coach tells Shane, you weren't built. You shouldn't have handled the team. You shouldn't have carried the team the first year. You should have handled the clipboard. But that wasn't what he experienced. That's not what we've experienced. And Shane, like many of us, gets it when we get invited to something great, something new, something exciting, something risky. He says, I'm retired. I don't want to be remembered. Like, just keep going. Like, I'm happy living under the water, forgotten. I wish people would forget because what they remember is forgettable. And instead of risking being memorable for something good, we'd rather just be forgettable for something, for our worst mistakes, for our big regrets, our worst pain. So what we see is Coach McGinty doesn't pussyfoot around. He says he enters in and says, yeah, this happened. This sucks. This is bad. And it's what Hebrews says about Jesus is we don't have a Redeemer who we don't have a God who can't relate to us, but we have Jesus who's been through, who's suffered everything that we will ever suffer, whether it's rejection, betrayal, being abused, being used. You know, look at all the people that just used Jesus just because they wanted a free meal or because it was the kind of the popular thing to do for a while. Everything we've been through, Jesus has already been through as well. But the big invitation as he's walking away, just think about it. You could be part of something. And that's what all of us really deeply long for. We don't really want to be forgotten. We want to be memorable for something good. We want to come through in the clutch. As we talk about on our podcast, that line of, I know the man you are and the man you could be, and I want to be there when those two meet. And that's really the part of something. You could be part of something. You could be part of the restoration of your heart, the restoration, the reframing of your past, or the reclamation of your family. You could be some part of something great. And how does that happen? Well, we kind of talk a lot about that in our podcast, our Men at the Movies podcast. Britt and I, we rebroadcast our first actual episode from back in November of 2020. We rebroadcast that. So if you want to see sort of the process, the full process Shane goes through to become that transformed man, I think that we all want to become, go over to menatthemovies.com/podcast, or we are on Spotify, Apple Pods, anywhere you get your podcasts, you can check us out. And so just hit like, hit subscribe if you like this, and share it. If it's something good, share the podcast, share this episode. We're building our brand, we're building our audience, and we're looking to engage in a lot of different ways. So check out the links below, and I hope to see you next time here on Men at the Movies, the YouTube channel.